10 greatest romantic comedies that instantly make your day better. Romantic comedies can be heartbreakingly bad, cheesy and forgettable, barely either rom or com, but you'd need to have a heart of stone not to fall for these funny romantic comedies. From hilarious, low-pack rom-coms to bittersweet romantic movies that leave a lump in the throat. Welcome to DLP Movie, and let's check out the list of top 10 best romantic comedy films ever made. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Another Hugh Grant movie to top this list is the Academy Award-nominated 4 Weddings and a Funeral. It's rare to see a romantic comedy receive a Best Picture nomination, but the film is a complex, poignant and often hilarious feature that brings a bunch of friends together in the most brilliant of ways, a picture worthy of its acclaim. It stars Grant as an oh-so-eligible bachelor who is smitten with an American he keeps running into, played by Annie McDowell. It's a rare feat, an example of the best Britain has to offer in the genre. The movie was funny, easy to watch. Hugh Grant's character, the same one he plays in every film, is sufficiently charming.
Divine.
That it can pull you through any number of storybook plots without all that much trouble. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Struggling writer Paul Vorjak moves into a New York apartment building and becomes intrigued by his pretty, quirky neighbor Holly Golightly. Holly's lifestyle confuses and fascinates Paul. In public, she flits through parties with a sexy, sophisticated air, but when they're alone, she changes into a sweetly vulnerable bundle of neuroses.
Stick out your chin and say, okay, life's a fact. People do fall in love. People do belong to each other. Because that's the only chance anybody's got for real happiness. The 1961 film Breakfast at Tiffany's is far more popular than the novella it was adapted from. While the film closely follows much of the original dialogue, it does depart from the novella in several crucial ways. In a way, Breakfast at Tiffany's is like getting 2 movies. The first half or so is a light-hearted comedy and the second half is a romantic drama. The entire package is thoroughly engaging. Love Actually. All of London is in love, or longing to be, in 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Writer Richard Curtis' first directorial effort. Billed as the ultimate romantic comedy, Love Actually involves more than a dozen main characters, each weaving his or her way into another's heart over the course of one particularly eventful Christmas. The seemingly perfect wedding of Juliet and Peter brings many of the principals together, including heartsick best man Mark, who harbors a very unrequited crush on Juliet. There's also recent widower Daniel, trying to help his lonely stepson Sam express his true feelings to a classmate. Across town, devoted working mother Karen tries to rekindle the passion of her husband, Harry, who secretly pines for a young colleague of his. In the same office, the lonely Sarah not so secretly pines for a man just a few desks away, who returns her affections, but may not be able to dissuade her neuroses. Providing the unofficial soundtrack for all of the couples is an aging rocker, who just wants to cash in and get laid, but even he might find a meaningful relationship in the most unlikely of places. A working print of Love Actually premiered at the 2003 Toronto International Film Festival. Ten Things I Hate About You. Popular. Pretty Bianca Stratford is in dilemma. A family rule forbids her from dating until her unpopular, rebellious, boy-hating older sister Kat gets a suitor of her own. In an attempt to win Bianca, a potential boyfriend desperately attempts to set Kat up with Patrick Verona, another rebel who may just be able to win Kat's heart. As satirical as it is romantic, this is one teen film that is wise enough to span generations in its appeal. If it feels patchy, with some inexplicable plot developments, a guidance counselor, The West Wing's Alice and Jenny.
Never tried.
You never give up, do you?
Was that a yes?
No!
And anyone
You're concentrating awfully hard considering it's gym class.
who's ever been taken completely.
Who vanishes after 15 minutes. A student whose obsession with Shakespeare is randomly and irrationally thrown in halfway through. 10 Things I Hate About You still makes for a solid summer crowd pleaser, with enough good-natured humor and wonderfully silly set pieces to carry itself through. Sleepless in Seattle. What if someone you never met, someone you never saw, someone you never knew was the only someone for you?
Good solid movie. The story, although very rare, was pretty good, and the chemistry between Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks in all 3 movies they have been on, including this one, has been great. Almost perfect. If you're a romantic sucker, you'll love this one. After his wife Maggie passes away, Sam Baldwin and his adolescent son Jonah relocate from Chicago to Seattle to escape the grief associated with Maggie's death. 18 months later, Sam is still grieving and can't sleep. Although Jonah misses his mother, he wants his father to get a new wife despite Sam having not even contemplated dating again. So begins a romantic odyssey that probably could only happen in the movies, but it makes no difference because in Efron's capable hands.
And then she's too proud to tell him that
The story works, and it works beautifully. It's intentionally and shamelessly sentimental, but rather than maudlin, Efron hits just the right emotional tone, and it's perfect. From the romance to the humor she injects at just the right moment, to offset the drama, to the music, using just the right song at just the right time, that does so much to enhance the story. When Harry met Sally. Harry and Sally meet when she gives him a ride to New York after they both graduate from the University of Chicago. The film jumps through their lives as they both search for love, but fail, bumping into each other time and time again. Finally, a close friendship blooms between them, and they both like having a friend of the opposite sex. But then they are confronted with the problem. Can a man and a woman be friends, without sex getting in the way? If you're into romantic comedies, then you definitely should see this film. Even if you aren't really into the whole romantic part of it, the comedy is great and worth seeing. The dialogue in this film is at times simply amazing. Check the memorable quotes here if you've seen the movie and have forgot. Groundhog Day. A TV weatherman reluctantly goes to cover the story of Punxsutawney Phil for the 4th year in a row. Making no effort to hide his frustration about this, he covers the story and moves on, expecting his job to be finished. However, he awakes the following day and discovers that it's Groundhog Day again, and the fun happens again, and again. First he finds this be burdensome and unavoidable no matter what. Then he soon realizes he must take advantage of it in order to secure the love of a coworker.
Take care. Watch out for that first step, it's a doozy!
A fun comedy about a man caught on a time loop in his most hated day of the year, Groundhog Day. It's not laugh out loud funny, but more of being impressed with the shenanigans he does while he's reliving his day. The Princess Bride. When the lovely Buttercup is kidnapped by a ghastly gang intent on fermenting an international incident, they find they are pursued by the dread pirate Roberts, who just might be Wesley, her one true love. Also, after everyone is nasty Prince Humperdinck, to whom Buttercup is now betrothed but who seems to care little for her continued survival. The stage is set for sword fights, monsters, and tortures, but will Grandpa be allowed to finish telling the story with all these kissy bits? An enchanting storybook love story that has gained the status of cult movie along the years and appeals to both youngsters and adults alike.
It's a story of love, a tale of adventure. It's as real as the feelings you feel.
Thanks to its delicious blend of exciting romantic adventure and hilarious comedy, and made even more enjoyable by a great cast. Even though the stars are Cary Elwes and Robin Wright, it is the supporting cast that makes this movie so enjoyable. One of the most underrated movies of all time. So many great lines and scenes, hilarious but also filled with great action. Notting Hill. Every man's dream comes true for William Thacker, an unsuccessful Notting Hill bookstore owner, when Anna Scott, the world's most beautiful woman and best-liked actress, enters his shop. A little later, he still can't believe it himself. William runs into her again, this time spilling orange juice over her. Anna accepts his offer to change in his nearby apartment, and thanks him with a kiss, which seems to surprise her even more than him. Eventually, Anna and William get to know each other better over the months. But being together with the world's most wanted woman is not easy, neither around your closest friends, nor in front of the all-devouring press.
Complete moron, I apologize. This is very weird. It's the sort of thing that happens in dreams, not in
personally
life.
endeared and irresistible, Notting Hill is a perfect dream, a beloved story that begins with a coincidence that has evolved into something greater between an ordinary man and a prominent actress. Notting Hill is perhaps imperfect, but beyond reason, Notting Hill capitalizes on basic human emotional vulnerabilities. Pretty Woman. Edward is a rich, ruthless businessman who specializes in taking over companies and then selling them off piece by piece. He travels to Los Angeles for a business trip and decides to hire a prostitute. They take a liking to each other and he offers her money if she'll stay with him for an entire week while he makes the rich and famous scene, since it doesn't do for a man of his stature to be alone at society parties and polo matches. Romantic comedy and complications ensue. This movie is just a fairy tale, and fairy tales are there to make you believe in something that is totally unbelievable. This movie gives you hope, shows you that even if your life is miserable, that even if you are a bum magnet, if you don't give up hope, a millionaire in a Lotus might be just around the corner. All in all, the film is a great comedy fairy tale that'll be one the whole world will enjoy again and again. What is your favorite movie from the list? Let us know below, and do not forget to subscribe.